near the Banburystown in the county Down. One morning in July, down a Boring Green came a sweet colleen, and she smiled as she passed me by. She looked so sweet from her 2 white feet to the sheen of her nut brown hair. Such a coaxing elf, I'd have to shake myself to make sure I was standing there. From Bantry Bay to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, and no maid I've seen like the brown colleen that I met in the county Down. As she onward sped, I shook my head and I was left with a feeling rare. Says me, says I, to a passer-by who's a maid with the nut brown hair. He smiled at me with bright, says he, that's the gem of Ireland's crown. A young Rosie McCann from the banks of the Bann, she's the star of the county Down. From Bantry Bay to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, and no maid I've seen like the brown colleen that I met in the county Down. She had a soft brown eye and a look so sly, and a smile like the rose in June. And you held each note from her lily white throat as she lilted an Irish tune. At the pattern dance you were in a trance as she traps through a jigger reel. Oh, in her eyes she rolled, she would steal your soul, and your heart she would likely steal. Well, from Bantry Bay to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, and no maid I've seen like the brown colleen that I met in the county Down. Now at the harvest fair, she'd be there, and I'd be dressed in my Sunday clothes. With my shoes shone bright, my hat cocked right for a smile from the nut brown rose. And no pipe I'll smoke, no horse I'll yoke, I'll leave my plough till the rust comes down. And I don't need the young bride by my fireside, sits the star of the county Down. From Bantry Bay to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, and no maid I've seen like the brown colleen that I met in the county Down. From Bantry Bay to Derry Quay, and from Galway to Dublin town, and no maid I've seen like the sweet colleen that I met in the county Down. Hallo Leute, ich bin Gerard Donnelly aus Derry in Nordirland. Ich bin ein irischer Musiker hier in Freiberg. Und wir spielen heute Abend in der schönen Miners Pub in der Meißner Gasse. Und ja, ich würde für euch ein bisschen irische Musik spielen. Das ist möglich durch den Bergstadtkultur und Rotary Club Freiberg und von Christian Schulz, hier der Gastgeber. Der nächste heißt Thousands of Sailing. Das ist ein Lied von the Pogues. Und ich würde das jetzt an der Octave Mandolin spielen. Dieses komisches Instrument, aber ich finde es gut. So. The island, it is silent now, but the ghosts still haunt the waves. A torch lights up a famished man who fortune couldn't save. Did you work up on the railroad? Did you rid the streets of crime? Were you dollars from the White House? Were they from the five and dime? And did the old songs taunt and cheer you? And did they still make you cry? Did you count the months and years, or did your teardrops quickly dry? I know, said he, it was not to be on a coffin ship. I came here, I never even got so far that they could change me name. Thousands are sailing across the Western Ocean to a land of opportunity that some of them will never see. Fortune prevailing across the Western Ocean, their bellies full and their spirits free. They'll break the chains of poverty and they'll dance to the music In Manhattan's desert twilight, at the ghost of the afternoon, we walked hand in hand through Broadway, like the first men on the moon. Then the blackbird broke the silence as you whistled it so sweet. And in Brendan Behan's footsteps, I danced up and down the street. Then we said goodnight to Broadway, giving it our best regards. Tipped our hats to Mr. Cohen, dear old Times Square's favorite bard. And then we raised a glass to JFK and a dozen more besides. When I got back to my empty room, I suppose I must have cried. Thousands are sailing again across the ocean with a hand of opportunity, just tickets in a lottery. Postcards were mailing of sky blue skies and oceans, from rooms the daylight never sees, and lights don't glow on Christmas trees. But they'll dance to the music and they'll dance to the music and they'll dance. 1000s are sailing again across the ocean, where the hand of opportunity draws tickets in a lottery. Wherever we go to celebrate this land that makes us refugees from fear of priests with empty plates and guilt and weeping effigies. Still we'll dance to the music and we'll dance to the music and we'll dance. Dance to the music and we'll dance. And we'll dance to the music and we'll dance. Nice. So der nächste Wort ist, das heißt Beeswing von, ich denke es war Richard Thompson, das hat es geschrieben. A love song. I was 19 when I came to town. They called the summer love. There were burning babies, burning flags, the hawks against the dove. I took a job down the steamy, way down near Cauldron Street. I took a job with a working next to me. Brown hair zigzagged around her face and a look of half surprise. A fox caught in the headlights, there was animal in her eyes. She said, oh man, now can't you see, I'm not the factory kind. If you don't take me out of here, I'll surely lose me mind. She was a rare thing, as fine as a bee's wing, so fine a breath of wind might blow her away. She was a lost child, she was running wild. She said, as long as there's no price in love, I'll stay. You wouldn't want me any other way. We were bussed around in market towns, with Pickford down in Kent. We tinkered lamps and pots and pans and knives wherever we went. I said that we might settle down, get a few acres dug, with fire burning in the hearth and babies in the rug. But she said, oh man, you foolish man, it surely sounds like hell. You might be lord of half the world, you'll not me as well. She was a rare thing, as fine as a bee's wing, so fine a breath of wind might blow her away. She was a lost child, she was running wild. she said, as long as there's no price in love, I'll stay. And you wouldn't want me any other way. We were camping down the Cara one time, the work was pretty good. I said we shouldn't wait for the frost, though I thought that we should. We were drinking more in those days, tempers reached a pitch, and like a fool I let her run, and with her rambled in itch. Now last I heard she's sleeping out back on the Derby beat, white lightning in her hip pocket and a wolfhound at her feet. And they say she even married once to a man named Romany Brown, but even a gypsy caravan was too much settling down. And they say your flower is faded now, hard weather and hard booze. Maybe that's the price you pay for the chains that you refuse. She was a rare thing, as fine as a bee's wing. I miss her more than ever words could say. If I could just taste all of her wildness now, and hold her in my arms another day, I wouldn't want her any other way. Vielen Dank. So, vielen Dank an alle, die von zu Hause schauen gerade. Das sind komische Zeiten und natürlich können wir nicht hier ins Pub in echt, also zusammen Konzerte machen und so weiter. So, ja. Der nächste Lied geht über. Es hat mit einer Reise zu tun. Von Galway nach Dublin. Und es heißt The Rocky Road to Dublin. Die Gitarre muss man erstmal stimmen und dann geht's los. In the merry month of June, first from home I started, left the girls at tomb, so sad and broken hearted, saluted father dear, kissed me darling mother, drank a pint of beer, my grief and tears to smother, then to reap the corn, leave where I was born, cut the stout black thorn to banish ghost and gobble and rat, pair of brogues, rattling over the bogs, frightening all the dogs on the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The hare and turn her down the rocky road, and all the ways to Dublin, whack Filiale. Oh, in Mullingar that night I rested limbs so weary, started by daylight next morning bright, and early drank a drop of the pure to stop the heart from sinking at the paddy's cure. When every's on the drink and to see the lassie smile, laughing all the while at me curious style, 'twould set your heart a bubble and asked if I were hired, wages I required. I was getting tired of the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the hare and turn her down the rocky road, and all the ways to Dublin, whack Filiale. When in Dublin next arrived, I thought it such a pity to be so soon deprived of view of that fine city as I took a stroll. All among the quality bundle it was stole, all in the neat locality something crossed my mind. As I looked behind, no bundle could I find. A bond mystic, a wobble inquiring for the road, said me kind of grove wasn't much in vogue on the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The hare and turned her down the rocky road, and all the ways to Dublin, whack Filiale. From there I got away, my spirits never failing, landed on the quay just as the ship was sailing. Captain at me roared, said that no room had he. As I jumped aboard, a cabin found for Paddy. Down among the pigs, played some hearty rigs, danced some hearty jigs, the water round me bubbling off of Holyhead. I wished myself was dead or better far instead. From the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the hare and turn her down the rocky road, and all the ways to Dublin, whack for Laldira. Well, the boys in Liverpool, when we safely landed, called myself a fool. I could no longer stand it, blood began to boil, temper I was losing. Poor old Erin's Isle they began abusing. Rammy, so says I, shillelagh, I'll fly. Galway boys were by, they saw I was a hobbling with the loud array. Joined in the affray as they cleared the way for the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road, and all the ways to Dublin, whack for Laldira. Hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road, and all the ways to Dublin, whack for Laldira. Jetzt Stille. Ja, das ist komisch, so von, wenn man hiermit keine, weil ich euch nicht sehen kann, das ist ein bisschen interessant. So, es ist anders. Aber auch anders als nur so zu Hause spielen und üben und so weiter. Da ist ein bisschen mehr Druck dabei und das finde ich gut. Das mag ich eigentlich. Schnell was trinken. So, Black is the Color, der nächste Lied, so ein Lied, das also auch ein uraltes Lied. Das ist von viele Varietäten von Sängern gesungen, also Christy Moore und auch Nina Simone, die Jazzsängerin, hat es auch eine Version, die sehr cool ist. Und ich würde es gerne spielen. Well, black is the color of my true love's hair. Her lips are like some roses fair. She has the sweetest smile and the gentlest hand, and I love the ground whereon she stands. I love my love, and well she knows. I love the ground whereon she goes. I wish the day it soon would come when she and I would be as one. And black is the color of my true love's hair. Her lips are like some roses fair. She has the sweetest smile and the gentlest hand, and I love the ground whereon she stands. I go to the Clyde, I mourn and weep, for satisfied I never can be. I write her a letter, just a few short lines, and suffer death 1,000 times. For black is the color of my true love's hair. Her lips are like some roses fair. She has the sweetest smile and the gentlest hand, and I love the ground whereon she stands. I love the ground whereon she stands. All right, thank you. So, jetzt der Harmonikas kommen raus. Das war der Zeit, ne? So, bitte Tambourine. So, nächster ist noch ein Pogueslied und das kennt bestimmt alle schön. Also wenn man in ein irisches Pub denkt, also ich denke, man denkt an dieses Lied. Met my love by the gasworks wall. I dreamed a dream by the old canal, and I kissed my girl by the factory wall. A dirty old town, dirty old town. Harmonies from behind the scenes. I saw a siren from the docks. I saw a train set the night on fire. I smelled the spring on the smoky wind. A dirty old town, a dirty old town. Clouds are drifting across the moon, and cats are prowling on their beds, and spring's a girl on the streets at night. Honest house, come on, dirty old town. Woo! A dirty old town. Gonna make a big shower box, shining steel, tempered in the fire, and it'll cut you down like an old dead tree. A dirty old town, a dirty old town. I met my love by the gasworks wall. I dreamed a dream by the old canal, and I kissed my girl by the factory wall. A dirty old town, dirty old town. dirty old town. A dirty old town. Woo! Cool. Also schön, dass ihr alle da seid und ich freue mich sehr, also für euch zu spielen. Es ist ein bisschen komisch, so sehr so ein bisschen weird ist so in einem Pub zu sein ohne Publikum und ohne Bier und so. aber ja, das ist schön hier wieder ins Minus zu spielen, weil ich habe ein paar Mal hier gespielt und es war immer mega viel Spaß. So ja, danke an Circo für so ein schönes Pub. Oops, tambourine is still there, get rid of that. While on the road to sweet Thigh, hurroo, hurroo. While on the road to sweet Thigh, hurroo, hurroo. While on the road to sweet Thigh, sticking my hand in a tear in my eye, a doleful damsel I heard cry, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. With the drums and guns and guns and drums, hurroo, hurroo. With the drums and guns and guns and drums, hurroo, hurroo. With drums and guns and guns and drums, the enemy nearly slew ya. But darling dear, you look so queer, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. Where are the eyes that look so mild, hurroo, hurroo? Where are the eyes that look so mild, hurroo, hurroo? Where are the eyes that look so mild when my poor heart you first beguiled? When did you skedaddle from me and the child, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. Where are the legs you used to run, hurroo, hurroo? Where are the legs you used to run, hurroo, hurroo? Where are the legs you used to run when you went off to carry a gun? The days you're done, days are done, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. With guns and drums and drums and guns, hurroo, hurroo. With drums and guns and guns and drums, hurroo, hurroo. With drums and guns and guns and drums, the enemy nearly slew ya. But darling dear, you look so queer, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. You haven't an arm, you haven't a leg, hurroo, huroo. You haven't an arm, you haven't a leg, hurroo, huroo. You haven't an arm, you haven't a leg, you're an eyeless, noseless, chickenless egg. You'll have to be put in a bowl to beg, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. Sad as it is to see you so, hurroo, huroo. As sad as it is to see you so, hurroo, huroo. As sad as it is to see you so, and thinking you know as an object of woe, your Peggy will still keep you on as a bow, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. With the drums and guns and guns and drums, hurroo, huroo. With drums and guns and guns and drums, hurroo, huroo. With guns and drums and drums and guns, the enemy nearly slew ya. My darling dear, you look so queer, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. Ja, so, der nächste ist ein Lied, das heißt Back Home in Derry, woher ich komme. Eine Stadt in Nordwestern Irland, das heißt Derry, und gibt es ein paar Lieder darüber. So, als ich mit Anfang hier ein Minus gespielt habe, dann sie haben mir Gerry von Derry genannt und it's stuck after that. So, das ist jetzt, it is what it is. So. In 1803 we sailed out to sea, out from the sweet town of Derry, for Australia bound if we didn't all drown. The marks of our fetters we carried, in our rusty iron chains we sighed for our ways. Good women we left in sorrow, as the mainsails unfurled, and curses we hurled on the English and the thoughts of tomorrow. Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry. Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry. At the mouth of the foyle, bid farewell to the soil, as down below decks we were lying. A dirty scream woken out of a dream, I a vision, a bold robber dying. 5 weeks out to sea, we were now 43. Our comrades we buried each morning. In our own slime we were lost in the time of endless nights without dawning. Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry. Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry. We cursed them to hell as our bow fought the swell. Our ship danced like a moth in the firelight. White horses rode high as the devil passed by, bringing souls to Hades by twilight. The sun it burned cruel as we dished out the gruel. Our comrades we buried each morning. In our own slime we were lost in the time of endless nights without dawning. I wish I was back home in Derry. Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry. Van Diemen's Land is a hell for a man to live out his life in slavery, where the climate is raw and a gun makes the law. Neither wind nor rain care for bravery. 20 years have gone by and I've ended my bond. My comrade's ghost walk beside me. A rebel I came, and I'm still the same. On a cold winter's night you will find me. Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry. Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry. Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry. Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry. Danke. Ja. Ich muss wirklich was trinken. So. Es ist ein anderes Gefühl, wenn man also nicht, also wirklich, also Auftreten in eine lange Zeit hatte und dann man spielt zu Hause und ja, das kriegt nur die Nachbarn. So. So, ich würde diese Möglichkeit meinen Nachbarn jetzt bedanken, dass die sehr geduldig mit mir und mit unserer Musik zu Hause, meine Freunde und ich. So. Jetzt der nächste. Es wird auch so ein kann man auch sagen Trinklied. Whiskey in the jar. As I was going over the far-famed Kerry mountains, I met with Captain Farrell and his money he was counting. I first produced my pistol and then produced my rapier, saying, stand and deliver, for I am a bold deceiver. My shirring, I'm a dude, I'm a da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I counted out his money, it was a pretty penny. I put it in my pocket and I brought it to my Jenny. She said she loved me, never would deceive me, but may the devil take that woman. How you know she tricked me easy. My shirring, I'm a dude, I'm a down. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I went into my chamber, all for to take a slumber. I dreamt of gold and jewels, and for sure it was no wonder. But Jenny drew me charges, filled them up with water, and she sent for Captain Farrell to be ready for the slaughter. My shirring, I'm a dude, I'm a da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Early in the morning, before I rose to travel, up comes the band of footmen, and likewise Captain Farrell. I first produced my pistol, for she stole away my rapier, but I couldn't shoot the water, so a prisoner I was taken. My shirring, I'm a dude, I'm a da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Now if anyone can aid me, it's my brother in the army. If only I knew his station was at Cork or in Killarney, and if he'd come and aid me, we'd go roving in Kilkenny. I know he'd treat me better than Madame Steve and Jenny. My shirring, I'm a dude, I'm a da. Whack for the daddy-o, hey! Whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Jo. So, wo habe ich meine Harmonika gelassen jetzt? Das ist da hier. So, der nächste wird so ein bisschen mehr so instrumentalisch. Das ist, was man also oftmals wenn man oft ins Pub geht, und da ist immer so eine Session, eine Sammlung von Musikern, die zusammen spielen, und ja, das ist eine sehr schöne Stimmung, dass wir der momentan leider nicht machen kann. So, ich würde für euch eine Hornpipe jetzt spielen, das heißt The Rights of Man. Ja, man merkt den Unterschied. Also mit mehreren Auftreten oder zu Hause spielen. So, das bleibt an, eigentlich, ja. Das nicht erhöht, der Harmoniker bleibt an. So, jetzt eine, das wir alle kennen, bestimmt. Das ist jetzt auf das Thema Trinken und Pubmusik. Dann haben wir eine echte jetzt. I've been a Wild Rover for many a year, and I've spent all my money on whiskey and beer. But now I'm returning with gold and great store, and I never will play the Wild Rover no more. And it's no, nay, never, no, nay, never no more will I play the Wild Rover. No, never no more. I went to an alehouse I used to frequent. I told the landlady my money was spent. I asked her for credit, she answered me nay. It's custom as yours I could have any day. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never no more will I play the Wild Rover. No, never. I pulled from my pocket 10 sovereigns bright, and the landlady's eyes opened wide with delight. She said, I have whiskey and wines of the best, and the words that I told you were only in jest. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never no more will I play the Wild Rover. No, never no more. I went to my parents, confessed what I'd done. I asked them to pardon their prodigal son. If they caressed me as oft times before, sure I never will play the Wild Rover no more. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never no more will I play the Wild Rover. No, never. No, nay, never no more will I play the Wild Rover. No, never no more. One more so you can sing it at home. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never no more will I play the Wild Rover. No, never. So, from one rover to another rover. That was the Wild Rover. This is now the Irish Rover. So. On the 4th of July, 1806, we set sail for the sweet Gulf of Cork. We were sailing away with a cargo of bricks to the Grand City Hall in New York. 'Twas a wonderful craft, she was rigged for a nap, and oh how the wild wind drove her. She stood several masts, she had 27 masts, and they called her the Irish Rover. There was Barney McGee from the banks of the Lee, there was Hogan from County Tyrone, there was Slugger O'Toole, he was drunk as a rule, and a man from Westmeath called Malone. There was Kirk, who was scared stiff of work, and fighting Bill Tracy from Dover, and your man Mick McCann from the banks of the Bann was the skipper on the Irish Rover. And there's so many names. We had 1 million bags of the best Lego rags. We had 2 million barrels of bones. We had 3 million sides of a blind horse's hides. We had 4 million barrels of bones. We had 4 million bags of. We had 5 million hogs, 6 million dogs, 7 million barrels of porter. We had 8 million bales of old nanny goat's tails in the whole of the Irish Rover. We had sailed 7 years when the measles broke out, and our ship lost its way in the fog, and the whole of the crew was reduced down to 2, just myself and the captain's old dog. And the ship struck a rock, and Lord, what a shock! The bulkhead was turned right over. Turned 9 times around, and the poor old dog was drowned. And the last of the Irish Rover. We had 1 million bags of the best Lego rags. We had 2 million barrels of stones. We had 3 million bales of old nanny goat's tails. We had 4 million barrels of bones. We had 5 million hogs, 6 million dogs, 7 million barrels of porter. We had 8 million bales of old nanny goat's tails in the hold of the Irish Rover. Vielen lieben Dank an alle, dass ihr von zu Hause das geschaut habt, und ja, ich habe mich sehr, sehr erfreut, für euch zu spielen, und es hat wirklich viel Spaß gemacht. Vielen Dank, und ich würde dann auch Marco Nimrechter für der Tontechnik von der Mnet Elektrotechnik bedanken, und auch so Christian Schulze für das alles so organisieren, Circle Roden und Miners Pub, dass wir hier in diesen schönen Pub spielen darf, und auch Kai Winter für die Fotos heute. Das hat echt viel Spaß gemacht, und ans Rotary hier in Freiberg natürlich auch bedanken. Und euch zu Hause, dass ihr meine Musik gehört habt und dass ihr zugehört und hoffentlich auch mitgesungen habt. Und ja, vielen lieben Dank, dass ihr da seid, dass ihr da wart. Tschüss.